what is your evaluation of Caleb Williams? Do you agree he is the surefire, definite number one overall selection in this year's draft?
Yeah, I do. I mean, he should be, and that's Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears will have a fun decision to make. But I think everything that Caleb encompasses at the quarterback position, the talent he showed at Oklahoma and then the 2 years at USC, his ability to navigate, a tough change in his career, to play this past year at USC with, we're not talking about a lot of Trojans being drafted in the top 100 picks of this year's draft. So to play on that roster without superstar talent around him and still have a fantastic year individually, despite a tough record for them, I think he is the right quarterback to go to Chicago and finally give the Bears that franchise quarterback that they've been longing for my entire life, at least. A long time the Bears have been trying to find this guy, and I think Caleb is uniquely suited to go to Chicago and be that player for them.
Do you think Mahomes is the fair comp? I mean, that's all we've been hearing for a year plus, Matt. Do you?
Yeah, I'm the comp guy at ESPN, but I'm not going to go that crazy with it. I think you see some styles to Mahomes, his arm strength, his field vision, the way that he will drift, in the pocket to extend the play. All that is, he's borrowing that from Mahomes. I think that is a lofty, it would be like, compare someone to Tom Brady back in the day. I just don't want to do that. But I think there are styles of Mahomes, styles of Aaron Rodgers. I've said he reminds me a lot of a young Russell Wilson because I think he's also a more accomplished runner than a Mahomes or a Rodgers have really been in their career. Some of that's by design, but I think Caleb can be a dual threat quarterback. We certainly saw that at Oklahoma. So I see a young Russell Wilson who we have to remember was, back-to-back Super Bowls, was a top 5, top 6 NFL quarterback, certainly at times. So I think Caleb can be that type of player, but I just don't want to put the Mahomes expectations on anyone.
Well, the number one overall pick of the 21 draft, Joe Burrow had a Brady comp. There was a lot of folks who were saying, you know what?
There were.
And it's so funny that whenever that happened, or what you kind of just said about Mahomes and what everybody is saying about a comp for Mahomes, you always have to apologize before you do that because that is something you're slapping on the kid. Hey, I apologize for saying he reminds me of somebody who's an all-time great. But he kind of does, that's why he stands out, I think.
You're right. And I think the way you phrased it is why you're so good at this job, because you say he reminds me of, instead of my NFL expectation for him is. So I think if we say, you know what, Caleb reminds me of Mahomes, he reminds me of Aaron Rodgers in this area and that area, I think that's really a responsible way to frame it. And you can draw into those comparisons. But, when it's one line in an article, people are going to say, oh my gosh, Matt Miller compared Caleb Williams to Patrick Mahomes. If he doesn't win 3 Super Bowls in 5 years and completely change the way we evaluate quarterbacks, he's going to fall short of that. So, yeah, there are certainly characteristics that remind you of those guys. And that's why he's being considered, one of the greatest quarterback prospects probably since Andrew Luck and in the, probably over a Trevor Lawrence, over a Joe Burrow because of that dual threat ability that he brings to the game.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.